Hey y'all, welcome back to Shannon and Shelby in our series, If I Bought This House. So let's jump right into the listing. Okay, so this listing is a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 1,747 square foot home. It's been on the market for 213 days and is actually listed at $49,700. So it is for sure a fixer-upper, but sometimes I think that people would just really overlook this house because it does need a lot of cosmetic stuff. So again, I am no expert. I've just done this several times, and I'm really focusing on the design. I've not been in this house, so I don't know about structural details or like if the AC unit works or anything like that. Strictly design, just trying to show you some different things that you could do with this house to make it shine. So for the exterior, obviously needs to be cleaned up. It looks like there's maybe a little sidewalk here and a cute little brick stepping area to, walkway to get up to the house. So trimming up the bushes. I would not hesitate to paint this house. I mean, it does have some nice shutters there. So obviously people are painting their brick white now. That's a big thing. But I've seen a house recently that someone did, and it was a very like off-white color. And they had, it was a very muted lavender grayish kind of shade. And they had their shutters and their front door that color. And then the limelight hydrangeas outside. It was so pretty. So I would not hesitate to do that to this house. I would totally paint the outside. Okay, so let's look. You got to keep an open mind because the inside is coming, and it is a doozy. All right, so that's just more of the exterior. Okay, so we start with this little half bath, and let's close that down. Okay, so the little half bath, this looks atrocious, and these creepy little handprints need to go, but I would paint the paneling, a new toilet. You could get a little pedestal sink, something that may not be a popular opinion because you would say it's already small already, but I would paint this a dark, moody color. I think that would really go well. You could have like a chandelier in there, just make it really elegant. It is small, but it's still functional. So let's go on to... Okay, so this is part of a bath, and we'll get to the other pictures in a minute that I think that someone has started to redo but hasn't totally finished. So it looks, from here, the tub doesn't look terrible, so you could clean that up and then maybe tile up the walls. That would look good. Put a shower curtain on there. Like we talked about before, the shower curtains from, very long, extra long, from kind of the ceiling to the floor. It really draws your eye up. So this probably is a bedroom. I don't know who thought that neon green would be a great idea, but totally neutral paint. Those are some nice built-ins. If, I don't know about the floor, you maybe could just, obviously it would need to be cleaned up, but if you didn't want to totally redo it, you could scrub it down. Murphy's oil soap is a great thing to use on wood floors and see how it goes. Some people, I like the distressed look, so it wouldn't bother me for it not to be perfect. I'd throw some area rugs down and give a boho theme and call it a day. But let's go on. So this is a hallway. You could totally do a new light fixture in there. This whole house needs to be painted. So I would just pick a neutral paint throughout. My daughter actually did, I think it was Sherwin-Williams alabaster walls, and she did her trim and doors. I want to say it was accessible beige, so kind of the white walls, but the trim was a little bit darker color, and that really turned out really nice. I kind of questioned it to begin with, but it's beautiful. So you could do something like that in there. This, I'm sure you know my feeling on paneling. It's got to go. I mean, it doesn't have to go, but it has to be painted. And, a new fan for sure. I can't tell I'm assuming there's no flooring in here. This is just subfloor. So you could do like a nice laminate floor, maybe to match the other parts of the house. I'm not a fan of carpet. I wouldn't put carpet in here. If you're going a cheaper route, peel and stick tiles, or they have peel and stick like wood planks. I've done that before, and then they've held up very well. So that would be a suggestion. I don't like this ceiling. I would drywall it, but you can replace these. I know people who actually like that, and it's everyone's individual personal taste, but that wouldn't be too hard to fix there. Let's go on. Okay, so this is the bathroom that I was talking about earlier. I think that this may be a before, and someone had tried to start redoing it, and we'll get to that picture in a minute to see what they did. Okay, so I think this is that same bathroom, and then that's that tub we were looking at before. So anyways, I would put, the long vanity in here. I would do double sinks if it were me, and then a new toilet, and then the shower like we talked about. You could also take that peel and stick tile into this bath. I would keep it uniform. whatever you're going to use in the bath, and we'll get to the kitchen in a minute, I would just make it all the same. That's just my preference. I mean, obviously you could tile it as well. I'm not a good tile person. I don't know how to do that myself, but you could for sure do that. And so this is a different view, like this beadboard. So also in my daughter's house, we put beadboard behind the vanity and then like put 2 mirrors on her wall. It looked really nice. So you could carry that throughout, and that would be like a really cute touch in that bathroom. And this probably is another bedroom. Paint, paint, paint. The hallway, I don't know, someone was writing on their door frame. I don't care for the diamond doors, but I would put a new front door, something that let in some light to make the hallway a little bit brighter. You could have a cute entryway light, and obviously paint. So this, probably another bedroom. Paint, paint, paint. Okay, so I thought this was a unique feature. I like the archway. This is probably their living room. This probably over here is a dining room. Kind of open, so that's nice. And the floor doesn't look terrible in these pictures, so it may just need to be cleaned up, and then that would be a really cheap and economical fix. It looks like there's popcorn ceiling. You can scrape it. I'm not a fan, but there's certain things that you could maybe live with for a while, but at this price point, I mean, you're getting a steal, in my opinion. Even if it's just doing it to fix up to flip. Okay, so this is the kitchen. Obviously no fan. Here's still those tiled ceilings. You could obviously gut it, completely start over. It just depends on your budget. But if you didn't have it in your budget, you could paint these for sure. I think I talked about in the last video, there was a Giani countertop paint. Well, they also have Giani cabinet paint, and that has lasted really well in my kitchen. It goes on very smooth. A small paint can covers really well, and so I would totally recommend that. You can buy it on Amazon. It's not that expensive. For what you're getting, a new kitchen. I would, buy new appliances. Looks like you're going to need a refrigerator, dishwasher. I'm not sure where the stove is. I don't know if they have a picture of that. I don't know if that's like your stove area over there, if that's where your washer and dryer goes. Not quite sure. You could do a new countertop, or you could also paint this countertop in that same Giani countertop paint and really upgrade it. Do a new little backsplash. Peel and stick tiles are great for that. And obviously it needs new floors. So I would continue the same floors like that you're going to do in the bathroom, in the kitchen. Just keep it uniform. And then you probably, I'm pretty sure that those wood floors are like, real hardwood. Let's see what else we got. There's that other little half bath again. And it looks like this is the last of the pictures. So let's recap this house real quick. It's a great investment home. It would be something that you could get for a steal and flip for a good profit, in my opinion. I would do neutral paint throughout this whole house. If I was redoing the floors, I would totally try to do it before you moved in, obviously, because there's going to be dust and stain and all sorts of stuff everywhere. But I would really scrub the floors down and see what I could live with and what it looked like, natural. It may not need anything, and giving like that boho, even a farmhouse vibe, you could totally live with those distressed floors and just make your interior kind of match that. Update the bathrooms. You're going to need new toilets, vanities, and some tile for the shower. But this is a great home, in my opinion. Sometimes I think people look at these houses and they don't give them enough, I don't know if I want to say enough credit, but they're like, oh my God, no. But you don't necessarily have to come in here and totally rip all the walls down, do all, you know what I mean? It's not a complete gut. It doesn't have to be. If you had the money and you could do it, yes, this could be an awesome house if you had all that to do a complete gut. But there are things that you could do that are easy fixes and would make a big difference, and you could get an amazing house at a really low cost. So this is that episode. Keep following for more, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next listing. Thanks.